Hello everybody, how is it going? So, more law. Got a bit of a longer video today. I don't know how long it's going to end up being, we will see. But, best of 3 versus Lucci. I think, my thoughts on this matchup at least is that this matchup has to be even. Like, at times it feels a little bit, like, unplayable. But I think that's really just draw dependent for law. Like, I think you can go even, like, even though they don't, but basically what helps in this matchup is that they don't have to, like, Kaku's always hit something, Sakazuki, like, basically when you hit your shambles effect, you're able to use your leader, they can almost always immediately Sakazuki, and at that point, it's like, it's fine if you have another law, or another way to get to a law, like a Bonnie, but if you don't, the match starts to get hard from there, where you need to have your green cards once you're established to really play into this matchup. So those are kind of just my thoughts. I don't think it's too bad of a matchup. Just a little bit harder to play. And our start seems pretty solid. We do have 2 laws and a rush Zoro, so once we get established, we should be in an okay spot. And yeah, I mean, so as you guys can see on our 6th on turn, we can immediately get responded by a Sakazuki. On this turn, they can play a Kaku. The Kaku really wouldn't hurt that much, as we already, we could just play a Zoro next turn and then use our leader effect. So that's not too bad. And he does play the Kaku. I'd imagine he goes for the Dawn. Yeah, because I already have 2 blockers. Hitting 1 doesn't super matter. He also could have gone for, like, the Makino, because, it'll let me swing with Nami next turn. But, Also, I did take 2 life on, like, the first turn he could attack me, which is a debatable play, but I really just wanted to get as many cards as I could to establish my board. And I do chuck the restand law to 1k out of this, and I think that might have been a mistake, because now, again, that's what I was talking about. The 1 green card I have is my blocker law, and I don't currently have a way to get to another one, so could definitely have been a misplay. Maybe should have just used the 2k instead, or taken that life, either one. But we'll use the Makino, go 5 at his life. I feel like every Lucci player I go against likes to counter early, and I don't know exactly why. I feel like they'd want more cards in hand, but at least in this matchup, Isho does kind of hit you a decent amount, because just how law works, you will build card advantage, and you'll take your early life, so being at 6 cards or more is not too, out of the picture for law. So yeah, we'll attack twice, 5 then 7, then we'll use our leader effect to take back some 2Ks, play down our law and our Zoro, and he'll counter out of the Zoro hit. So this should be his Sakazuki turn if he has one. If not, I mean, even another Kaku isn't bad. Establishing a Borsalino isn't bad. He has a decent chunk of plays here that all sound pretty good. And he does go with the second Kaku. He'll immediately deal with my Zoro. And you guys can see, this is the problem of the matchup, where, like, you can't use the cards in hand to defend the cards you established, because they'll just pop them. And if my law gets outed, I don't have another... I right now I still don't have a green card to bounce into. So this is where it gets hard. But I think you win this matchup if you have your Bonnie going and you can consistently find bounce targets. So yeah, it's just how I feel, and I feel like I should take this life in order to find one of the green cards, and we find a Bonnie, which is really good. And his leader swing will go into my Nami, and I'll just block it with my law because he is tapped out. Probably should have just gone 1 Dawn on the Kaku and then 1 Dawn on his leader, so I didn't get any free blocks, and I do just grab another blocker law, so we're definitely back into this game. We're looking pretty solid. Just kind of thinking on what I want to do. I do want to, challenge the Kaku, so we will Otama, and then go 4 with our Nami at the Kaku. He does decide to 2k out of that. I'll go 1 Dawn on lead, attack it for 6. I imagine he'll let it go unless he wants to drop down the 1 card, and he does let it go. We'll use our leader effect eventually. We'll bounce the Otama, play Law, bounce Nami, replay Nami. We whiff and we bottom deck another blocker Law, which is not the best. We bottom deck some really good targets we could have found off Bonnie So it's debatable that maybe we should have played the Bonnie instead of the Otama to look for a target, but it's alright. I also do elect to play the Bonnie here over the Nami, which probably looks like a weird play. You know, I hate sacking off characters, but it'll put me to 5 cards in hand, which means I can't get hit by Isho this turn, and this would be his Isho. So, yeah, it's like, I can get punished by a 3rd Kaku, or just any other way to pop my Bonnie here, but, I think it was worth, you know, sacking off the 1 Nami to not get hit by Isho, and we do get Sakazuki'd on one of our blocker laws, so it's fine. Hand is just full of 2Ks now. As long as our Bonnie lives, we're still in this game. Goes 3 Dawn on leader. Attacks face for 8. I'll use one of my chump blockers. I doubt he'll go down to 0 cards to restand. I'll go 6 with Kaku. We'll just 2K counter out of that. And he'll pass it back. We pick up another Brook. We'll use our Bonnie. And yeah, we don't find a green target, and this is kind of where the match kind of falls apart, I want to say. We do have the pistol, which is nice, so we can like kill the Sakazuki and then try to out the Kaku. But right now, like we have to kind of bounce the Bonnie and to probably just not play anything off of her, just because we need, you know, to find a whatever it's called. Need to find another green card to bounce into next turn. So we will just bounce the Bonnie and pass. Had to play both our Otamas to out his board, but I think it was worth it. He's very low in cards, and now he has no board presence, so I feel like it was an alright play. He'll air door into a Khalifa. He draws 2, discards 2, I believe. And then minuses something. Probably minuses my law. If he has like a Kaku or something, he'll be able to out the law. Unfortunate. So now this next Bonnie really needs to find something. Yep, blocker law gets popped. We'll go 1 Dawn on lead. Attack life for 6. 2K out. Pass it back, we pick up a Nami. It'll be nice in reestablishing our board, but the main thing is Bonnie, and Bonnie sadly does not find any of her green cards. Nami does find a chopper, which is fine. We can just bounce the Bonnie into Zoro, but we're definitely not in a great spot now. We kind of have Otama stuck on board that we can't really pick up because we can't find any green cards. So yeah, it's definitely not looking the best. Almost just swing for 5 when I could easily swing for 7. Maybe gets a trigger here. That'd be unfortunate. None of my board is like stick this game. That's alright though. We'll play down the chopper and we'll pass it back. But yeah, I think how I see it is like missing out on a leader effect really hurts this matchup, but if you can consistently use your leader effect every turn that you're able to, you should be winning, should be in a good spot. You should just out-resource them. But you know, most of the cards you play will probably get popped or just, you know, answered, so you need to just kind of try to always have the resource of a blocker law or restand law, any of the Zoros. So yeah, it's definitely not looking the best. Our board is just a bunch of little guys. We do have the Bonnie, so we can hope that if we live this turn, which we should, we'll be able to maybe stabilize a bit. We'll see though. It's another Bonnie as our last life. That's cool. We draw a 3rd Bonnie. That's kind of funny, honestly. Go 2 Dawn on Nami. Attack Khalifa for 4. He'll 1K out of that. So we should pretty freely be able to out some of the board. We don't have any big attackers, but if we find maybe like a Rush Zoro, it'll let us clear something else. We'll play down the Bonnie, user effect, pick up a blocker law. That's really good. We could like potentially Play down another Bonnie to look for Zoro, but I'm not sure if that's the play. Use leader, bounce Otama, play down the Law, bounce our other Otama, and probably just not play anything. I alternatively could have like replayed Otama and then put like 2 Dawn on Chopper and attack the Khalifa, but didn't sound like a play just because of what's it called? Borsellino still being there. Just didn't really work out. I'm also hoping that the Bonnie kind of baits him into attacking that, because I do know I have the 2 more. So we'll see what he ends up doing. I was hoping, the Spandam would just go into the Bonnie. Goes, evens out his board. Doesn't have a restand effect this turn because he only has 1 card in hand, so we don't have to worry about that, but we have to somehow kill him next turn, or he will have the ability live for the following turn, so we'll probably die that turn. Counter out of the hits we can. Draw for turn, we grab a Makino. Use our Bonnie. We can pick up one of the Zoros here. We'll grab a Rush Zoro. Play down another Bonnie. Grab a Restand Law. Give 1 Dawn to my leader, attack Khalifa for 6. He lets it go. Play down a Zoro, give him 1 Dawn, attack Spandam for 6. Just kind of hoping he'd give me the Borsellino there. We'll attack for 6 with our Blocker Law. And we'll use leader effect to take back Zoro and restand our Blocker Law, pass it back. A little bit awkward. Maybe there was a play with like Makino, or if I think my Bonnie, I'm trying to remember if it found like a 1k. I think it found another Bonnie, so maybe I was supposed to take that over the Zoro, but just awkward that we had to bounce him back because of adding a card back to hand that has no counter is a little bit weird, and he can kind of play off him knowing that I don't have one of my cards isn't counter. Goes 3 Dawn on Borsellino, the rest of his Dawn probably on leader. You can see here, kind of hurts bouncing a card back to hand that has no counter, because I guess he just kind of assumed. He knew, I think 1 card in my hand was Bonnie, and then the other, I guess he just assumed was a 2k. So now he, goes 12-12. We have to block both of them, and then the 8 does go through from the Borsellino. So well played on him, kind of kept track of what I had in hand. Good plays, good plays. Still a pretty close match, can't complain. And we do, best of 3, thankfully, because I always want more experience in this matchup, trying to figure out how to win or lose it. I think right there we just kind of got caught out for a turn or 2, couldn't use our leader effect, and yeah, we'll see how it goes next game. He opts to go second. Opening hand wasn't looking great. Mulligan, still not the best. Vista is, not the card in this matchup. But we at least have a Bonnie, and we have a Chopper, because he made us go first, so we can just play the Chopper. I hope we draw into any of our Searchers, or just like a Zoro to play on curve or something. Grab our Dawn, play a Chopper, pass it back. He has no turn 1 play, maybe he has an Impact Wave. I'd pick up a Brook for turn. No Searchers. Sad. All good though. We could play the Vista just to play a body, but we opt to go with the Brook. Vista could potentially, pop like a brand new or a Spandam, get a little bit of value. Also is pretty good with Otama if he's playing like 4-drop Kuzan. He actually counters out of the 7k hit, which is crazy to me. could play the Makino here. Don't know if it's worth it really. I'll pass it back. He doesn't have a Kaku live, I had to check. Right? Yeah, he discarded Suru and a Fukuro. But if he air doors that, pretty easily could put the Kaku online. Swing us for 5, we'll take that hit. Pick up another Vista. So we're definitely playing a much slower game this game. We'll see how that ends up. Probably the play is just play the Zoro and just attack. So that is what we do. We actually played on the Bonnie and I don't attack. That's kind of crazy that I did that. I don't know. Fair enough. I mean, it's a decent payoff if it lives, but gives him a. I guess if he wants to play Sakazuki this turn, he'll probably go for my Zoro, right? That would make the most sense. Probably wouldn't pop my Bonnie. So maybe that was the mentality of where he's going into his 6th Dawn turn. If he has Sakazuki, he probably wants to play it. And he'd probably go for my Zoro. But he plays down the Kaku, but it is not live, as I remember saying earlier. It's definitely a misplay on his part. Maybe he thought he discarded two, two CP9s, and that's a rough turn for him. He plays the Kaku, doesn't have it live, and then hits my life and gets jet pistol. That's a rough time, I can't lie. That put us really, really ahead. Especially now that we have our Bonnie lived, so we're in a good spot. We'll Tama his what's his name? Borsellino. Then just attack for 5. He'll counter for 1, attack for 5 again. Counter for 2. Use our leader effect. Oh, psych. We should probably attack with our Zoro first. Counter for 2. Use leader, pick back up Otama, play the restand law, restand my Zoro, attack again for 6. Those attacks could have been 7, but I was worried about a impact wave from life, so I didn't want to get punished by that. Also, the following turn with the Kaku, I definitely could have KO'd the Borsellino, but I think it was more worth just getting rid of his attacker, because Borsellino's only 5k on his turn. So yeah, that's just kind of how I felt. Maybe it was correct to get rid of him, the Borsellino, maybe it wasn't. Not too sure, but now we're kind of off to the races. We have a lot of engines rolling, we find a blocker law, we find a rush Zoro. We're definitely really set up right now. Have 2 6k bodies established on our board right now. We're looking solid. I kind of went with a lower number there in hopes that maybe he would, counter out of it, because I know he definitely wouldn't counter out of the 7k hit. But he potentially gets a trigger here, which I wouldn't be the worst, because it'd be an impact wave, and yeah, I'd kill like my Zoro, but we still have the bodies to, rebuild, so it wouldn't be too bad. And that is what happens. We still have 6 Dawn remaining, so we can play our Rush Zoro. Still have an extra Dawn in case we get impact waved again. He can block with Borsellino here if he wants. That just means I'm gonna attack it now instead of his life. And he lets it go. We'll go 5 at his life. He takes. We'll use leader effect, pick back up Zoro, play Law, bounce Bonnie, play Zoro, attack for 5 again. 1k out, and we'll pass it back. Plays down a Kaku. Probably goes after my Zoro. Yep. Still has 5 Dawn remaining. Could potentially challenge my blocker, not my blocker law, my restand law. Or he could just go life, or he could develop another Borsellino. All plays seeming pretty decent. He goes 6 somewhere, let's see. He goes 6 at my restand law. I'll probably defend it with the Vista, because Vista is not doing much. And if he swings Isho, we'll just block with the chopper. passes it back, pick up a Dodon. That's pretty nice, and reestablishing our board. We'll activate our Bonnie, pick up another blocker law. We're looking solid. Play Curly. Pick up. We have quite some choices here. I gotta free up space. This recording was really long because lately I've been just recording and then playing a bunch of matches and then making them into videos. So yeah, this recording was like nearing an hour while playing this. But obviously this portion of playing against Lucci was, I think, around a half an hour, something like that. But we'll go 7 at his lead. He'll block the Porcelino and just let it go. We'll go 2 Don on our leader, attack him for 7. He'll take that life. Go 1 Don on our blocker law, attack for 7. This is a greedy play. If I get impact waved here, I'm in a really bad spot, but I think I just wanted to take the last life, and that's what I did. I whiff off the Don. That's fine. We've pretty much secured game as long as we live this turn, and that shouldn't be much of a problem. So yeah, definitely could have potentially threw the game if I did get impact waved there and couldn't use leader effect, but I still think we would have lived, so I wasn't too worried about it. And we really only needed one of our bodies to stick to really go for game because he used his Porcelino. But he plays Sakazuki, pops one of our 5 drops. We probably won't be able to defend both of our laws still on field now. We can probably try to defend one. Unless he plays another Porcelino, then it shouldn't be too hard to defend them minus the Isho hit. Goes 6 at one of the laws. We'll counter out for 1. And I'll probably I'll probably take the life and defend the Isho hit on oh, never mind, he goes Isho in life. I think he could have just gone for one of my laws. I don't know how much it really mattered, but that's what I figured he would do. We go 2 Don on Dodon, attack for 5. Let's block, and yeah, that kind of just frees up game. We'll go 6, and then we'll just attack with lead. Alright, game 3. The most important one of them all. Our hand looks good. Yeah, we're definitely keeping that. We'll play down a Chopper, pass it back. He doesn't have a turn 1 play again. We'll attack for 5, potentially get impact waved. We'll see. I think it's actually Shockwave. I'm just so used to it being impact wave from the sim. We'll play down Curly, pick up a Nami, play the Nami, pick up a Zoro. We sadly bottom deck one of our laws, but we'll have a bunch of searchers, so we should be able to get back to him and find another one, even if we later on in the game we'll probably get back to that one. We'll see. He plays a Fukuro, attacks me for 6. We pick up a blocker law and then another blocker law, and oh, we are looking fantastic. We are looking fantastic. We'll play down a Bonnie, pick up a restand law most likely. Pistol isn't great in this matchup. It's good if you get it as a trigger, but that's really it. Play Otama, minus the Fukuro. We'll use leader effect. Bounce Otama, bounce Bonnie, play Law and Zoro. Attack for 5, then attack for 5. We leader effected first before swinging at life because we could have got impact wave there. I usually play around it, but sometimes I don't, you know what I'm saying? He'll use the Fukuro, which is interesting. Figured he'd definitely want to leave that around for a while. He's still at 5 life. Like, I don't really get defending your first 2 life like that hard. It's not really like Black is slamming a bunch of top end. It's usually just like Fujitora and Sakazuki's, and Sakazuki still lets you do other things later on in the game, you know? So, definitely interesting choice. But he'll play an Air Door, get a Bluno, attack Zoro for 6. We'll definitely defend because there's kind of no reason not to. He'll pass it back. We'll pick up a Brook. We'll go 2 Don on Dodon, attack for 5. He'll take the block with the Bluno. That means we can kind of bully the Bluno now. He's already kind of low on cards because he's been defending his life like crazy. Lets the Bluno go. Gets a Fukuro. We'll go 1 Don on Nami. Kill the Fukuro. And we can just go like 5 and then 6 with our Law. And then use leader effect to play down another Law. And then swing again with Zoro. Yeah, don't use that extra Dawn. This turn I'm telling you, usually I'm wary of Impact Wave. Just sometimes I'm not, and I don't get punished, but when I do, I just lose the game, right? That's just how it works. We'll actually play the Restand Law there and just attack again. Yeah, either one works. Definitely could have just played the Blocker Law, though. I guess this way I get another 6k hit, but I don't establish a blocker, so... Not that I really need a blocker at this point, like, I get it. And there's the Fujitora. It was inevitable. Thankfully, we keep 2 laws, which is really good. Our Bonnie does go, but 2 laws should be able to let us play for a decent amount of time. We'll save the Zoro, and we're definitely just going to apply a lot of pressure. I'm surprised he actually uses his leader effect here. Does not really seem worth it. He goes 5 at our Dodon. We'll just let her go. So we pick up a Vista. Probably just play Dodon, play Brook, then use our leader effect. We'll swing for 5 with Zoro. Could potentially also play a Restand Law and like a Brook, and then bounce, into the Blocker Law. That's a play too. So that could have been a trigger. He doesn't use it if it was, but yeah. We'll use Brook, put 2 Dawn on our Restand Law. He'll take that hit. No trigger. We'll attack for 5 with our leader. He'll counter for 1 with the Span Down. We'll play our Restand Law. Restand Law. Attack for 8. Could get hit by an Impact Wave here. This was a greedy play, but it puts me so far ahead if everything goes well. Because our whole board is just going to be 6Ks with, Zoro just being a 5K. So next turn, he's pretty much just gamed. Like, as long as that Impact Wave didn't hit. Even if it did, like, obviously we weren't in as amazing as a spot as we are now, but we're still not in a bad spot. So, we're at 3 lives still, which is kind of crazy. I'm surprised I'm not at 2. I think I always take the first 2. Maybe he's just been mostly slinging at board. Plays down to Sakazuki. Doesn't really matter at this point. We just have too much. Kills one of our Blocker Laws. Plays an Aerodor into a Kumadori. Maybe he was looking for... I don't know what he's looking for there. Maybe a Kaku to just deal with the Zoro. Swings 9 at my my Restand Law. I could defend this. I don't really know if I need to. I do it anyway. Just because his leader will attack for 5 with the Zoro, and we just get to free block it with our Law. Oh, he actually goes life. I'll still free block it for fun. Could have definitely taken that hit, though. Although at this point it doesn't really matter. He doesn't have a blocker. Only 2 cards in hand. I have 5 attacks. All of them going to be pretty big, so... Should just be game. And he eventually passes it back to us. I'll probably cut that out so you guys won't see that, but... Yeah, it definitely took a little bit just not passing. It's all good, though. I'll just 5, 6, and it's game. Obviously, I could have just gone big on one of my characters, but that's no fun. And he scoops it up. Well, thank you guys for watching. Hello, everybody. It's post-video Chris. Just wanted to thank you guys all for all the support lately. Channel's almost at 500 subs, which is kind of crazy to me. I feel like we've been growing pretty fast, so thank you guys for all the love and support. You guys are great.